It's a silent prayer, and his office to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting will be dedicated in memory of Edward Travis IV, Craig Penders, Kathy Shamara. Madam Clerk, will you take the roll?
Supervisor Megan,
Present.
Councilman Hart,
Present.
and Councilman Hamel.
Present.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from June the 3rd, 2019 work session.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the minutes of the June 3rd, 2019 town board meeting.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Any comments from the public regarding communications? Moving on to communications. Motion number 1, reappointment of town assessor Candace Whitmire as town assessor for 6-year term expiring September 30th, 2025, is prescribed by the New York State Real Property Tax Law, RPTL, Section 310.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 2 is from Matthew English. Please authorize the highway superintendent to purchase a new Ferris mower in the amount of $10,577 for Building and Grounds Department. The pricing is based on state contract 529-17. Vendor ID is 3092. Funds are available in line .0200.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 3 is from the Finance Office, a resolution for the Records Management Grant. Let it be resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the budget amendment to increase the general government state aid records grant 1.13060 by $3,742 for receipt of records management grant to increase the records management expense state grants 0.0442 by $3,742 for the purchase of shelving and 2 desktop scanners for the assessor's department.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 4 is from Candace Whitmire, our town assessor. Respectfully request authorization for Eric Finbar to attend the New York State Assessors Association Appraisal Seminar in Cornell from July 14th to the 19th of 2019. He has won this free scholarship, but there is no cost to the town.
Second.
Anything on the question?
On the question, there's absolutely no cost to the town on this?
Zero, not even mileage.
Not even mileage?
No, everything's paid for, his stay and the conference is all paid.
I do want to congratulate Eric for winning the scholarship and saving our taxpayers some money.
Yes, absolutely. Great guy. Thank you, Councilman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 5 is from Lauren Massett, our recreation supervisor. Please accept the attached resignation of Bernadette Dubell Lockwood, her clerk typist, effective June 23rd, 2019, with her last date of employment, June 22nd, 2019, having the supervisor sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 6 is also from Lauren Massett. Please accept the resignations of listed employees effective June 17 and have the supervisor sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Number 7 is also from Lauren Massett. Per the attached list, please appoint the following list of individuals to corresponding titles and rates effective June the 18th, 2019. Please change their status from part-time to part-time seasonal, effective June 18th through September 1st, 2019, and have the supervisor sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Item number 8 is also from Lauren Massett. Kindly change the rate of pay for Jessica Piotrowski to $13.25 an hour effective June 30th, 2019, and have the supervisor sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Just on the question, just to explain a couple of, it's not much, but why was this change made?
So after a discussion with our pool supervisor, this was due to a scheduling conflict with our current head lifeguards. Those head lifeguards were not available on Sundays or Friday evenings, so we had to find someone to fill that shift, and after talking to a few employees, Kelly and I both thought that that person would be the best fit, and we would like to move them into that position in order to operate the pool.
Now, I
Thank you.
would assume that Jessica is gonna work other hours,
That's correct, as needed.
would she be paid as needed as a supervisor, but not as a regular lifeguard?
So she could be a regular lifeguard, or she could be a head lifeguard, depending on how she's scheduled.
She gets this pay only when she's available.
No, this will be her rate of pay for the season.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 9 is also from Lauren Massett regarding a movie in the park. To accept the attached and thanking Galaxy Auto and Paula's Donuts.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 10 is from Mary Josephak, our senior recreation therapist for senior services. Kindly change the status of Georgiana Bussey, part-time clerk typist for West Seneca Senior Center, to part-time seasonal effective Monday, July 1st, 2019, to Wednesday, July 31st, authorizing the supervisor to sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 11 is from Jeffrey Schieber requesting bids that were advertised and distributed for the above referenced property, which is 30 Race Street. The town did not receive any bids, so therefore he contacted Hannah Demolition, who's done previous work in the town of West Seneca, and he's recommending that the town board pass a resolution accepting the bid for Hannah Demolition for a total amount of $16,000 for the demolition and award them the contract. There are 2 trees to be addressed in the house once it is removed, and in the yard once the home is removed, and may result in additional costs.
Second.
Anything on the question?
Just on the question real quick, actually, this item wouldn't have had, we would not actually have to bid it, we would just have to quote it. So I think that's a misnomer, it's not a bid. We saw quotes, and we only received a quote from Hannah Demolition. This is a public works contract, and I believe $30,000 or more requires a bid.
Jeffrey, did we get a bid on Race Street? I don't believe we got a bid on Race Street, correct?
No, we put it out and we never received anything. So then we had reached out to Hannah, because they had generally bid and taken most of the demos in the town. So, and then in reference to the trees that are noted, they gave us the price for the trees at the same time as the demo. We felt it was a little expensive, so we figured we would have the demo done and then we would get bids for trees, because we figured we could find a cheaper rate.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Correct. Race Street and Columbia Street were bid together as one. We didn't get bid for either house.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you both, Councilman. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 12 is from Chief Dens. Kindly accept the resignation of Terrence Riley, Public Safety Dispatcher, part-time, Monday effective Monday, June the 17th, authorizing the supervisor to sign the necessary forms with Erie County personnel.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I'd like to make a motion to accept the reports from Jacqueline Felser, Town Clerk, report from Receiver of Taxes report for May 2019, and from Jeffrey Schieber, Code Enforcement Officer, Building and Plumbing reports for May of 2019.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I'd like to make a motion to approve the warrant.
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, very good. Is there anyone from the public that has any comments? Okay. I'll do.
Susan Kim's 99 Covington Drive. My first question is in regards to, I believe we have a plan in the town where businesses, if they want to improve their properties, the features, the outside features of their properties, they can, receive tax incentives if they qualify for the program. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's not quite correct. It's the 485B plan. A building or a business would not get any kind of tax break simply for fixing up the facade of their building. They would have to add to the building or somehow add value to the building where the assessor would approve an increased taxable value. Then they would get a credit over 10 years that could be as high as 50% of the added value.
So I guess my question then would be, do we have anything available for homeowners that may need to make structural changes, whatever, to their homes that would help them, give them relief to pursue something like that?
No, so unfortunately, we do not. It would be nice, but we do not.
Ms. Kings, in our office, we have a number for a program through the county that people can do an application for, and if they qualify for it, the county will help them with repairs to their home.
That would be low income only,
That would be correct, I believe.
because we do have homeowners that don't fit that criteria, who it's a hardship for them to try and fix their homes. So, you know, I was just wondering if we
No,
could.
just through the county. Anything
Yeah, I
further?
was wondering if the town board may look at something like that for a homeowner as opposed to just business.
Are you aware of
No.
anything that's available under the law to the town? I'm not.
I am not.
The only program I'm aware of, and I think the housing program falls under the community development program. And to make it even tighter, only portions of our town are eligible for community development programs. Basically from Union Road to the east side, to the west side of town.
Anything further?
Yes, my next question, Mrs. Megan, at the last meeting, you had mentioned that we were all done fixing the last of the buildings that we were going to fix, and we weren't going to fix any more. So my question would be, we still have the Birchfield, which may still have litigation going on. And since you said we were not fixing anymore, does that include the Birchfield?
Well, first of all, the Birchfield had several repairs made to it from this board. But as far as the situation that down there, that's a whole different animal. So I'm not going to speak for the board or the future boards. Right now, I know in July 15th town board meeting, Jeff Schieber will be giving up his results from all the investigative work he has done and the assessment values of costs to that, related to that repairs of the building, which is coming in around $500,000. He's going to give that to the board at a work session, July the 15th.
Okay, and the work then being done will be done by employees of the town or outside contractors?
Again, Jeffrey's going to give us that report and we will determine how we're going to go about it. But right now, this board has not made any decisions on that because we haven't received and we haven't had any of that information given to us. Anything further?
Well, still staying with the Birchfield,
Sure.
would there be any way, after we get that report and we find out what it might cost to make the repairs, to any way to have like a dedicated building fund that contributions could be made to?
Again, all those things will be discussed. There's many options that the town can take. They can bond the repairs. They can budget for it for next year. But you know, every $200,000 in spending increases the budget is a 1% property tax.
Okay, and again, do we still have outstanding litigation? Is there litigation that has not been settled?
Correct.
at this point?
Yes. Yes. And when that is determined, the outcome of that will be made public as soon as we know.
Is it normal for the litigation to take it's been
Decades
2.5 years?
sometimes.
Yeah.
Look at Love Canal. I mean, I could go on and on with many, many cases. It's not going to be resolved overnight.
Okay. That's all I have for you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Anyone further?
I know the town doesn't maintain Potter's Road. Is that county or state?
County.
Bill, you gotta be familiar with it. I mean, they fixed Potter's Road a bit. I mean, it's terrible. It's like a washboard now. Is there any way that the town could write a letter to the county and tell them it's pathetic what they
Your
did?
state senator is here. You can call him, you can call your county legislature.
Well, I know I could do that, but I thought it would carry more weight if the representatives of 46,000 people.
David, I did that 2 weeks ago. There were some potholes over there. We're concerning, Highway Superintendent Matt English made the phone call that day. The crew was there filling potholes, and I saw they were there today doing some road work. I stayed away from the area because it was too congested. I don't know what they did.
Try driving up and down. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
it's not the potholes. They're filled in, but it's now it's like a washboard that they.
Yeah, they were there today. I have not gone down Potter Road in that area because of the construction.
Okay, thank you.
Beverly Lacing, Harwood Road. Thank you, Senator Gallivan's representative. I'm glad you're here. Maybe you can save me a phone call. I understand that the state legislator is going to vote for undocumented people to receive their driver's license.
The legislature or the legislator?
Legislation, in Albany, whatever the hell it's called, in
Sure.
Albany.
Sure.
Okay. I, as a taxpayer, pay the salary of the congressmen and assemblymen. I don't think any of these undocumented aliens pay any taxes. I resent the fact that this is before the legislation when we, the taxpayers, are paying your salaries.
Senator Galvin votes no.
I know he does, I know he does. I am going to applaud him, as I am maybe Kearns, for doing the unassociated documentation, but I appreciate that. But maybe you could relay that message, because we are, not only Western New York, but everybody. And it seems that New York City has the population to throw the vote the wrong way. So we applaud him for his efforts. Thank you. I'm going to ask West Seneca to do something that maybe isn't done yet, or hasn't been done, but might consider being done. We see the volunteer firemen needing more recruits, and more recruits. Maybe we could take the first step in allowing the current firemen and any new one a one-time tax break, an incentive, so that we could get more volunteers into these organizations across West Seneca.
Beverly, they do. They already get one.
They get one from the state. They get a $200 tax refund or reduction from New York State. Do you know how much that is a week? For the hours that they put in, I'm wondering if we could encourage new help to come. We've had a horrific accident just a couple days ago. And it is a volunteer. Would you like to face what some of these gentlemen and women have to face? I don't think so. So it takes a strong person to be a volunteer fireman or EMT until the paid ambulance gets there. Maybe we could just take half of the money that we saved on picking up the recyclables to offer an incentive of some sort for these men and women who go above and beyond. I don't know that there is anything, but maybe we could look into it. I'm gonna ask all of you outgoing executives to please leave your files. We had a case several years ago where officer left the position and took all of his files with him. I don't want anyone to be elected to an office and say the files were not there for them to look at. You don't know who I mean? Mans. The sanitation man?
The sanitation man died, and Matt English took his job over.
No, then it was whoever took over when we got Tanner. Who was it? Mons? Okay, I have the wrong
He
name.
didn't have any files.
Well, people came to meetings and said that they told them there were sewage in their basements, and when
Well, it was just never recorded, Beverly, but
Well-
just so you know, Beverly, for peace of mind, the town is now paperless, so everything we have is already in document management. So
Yeah.
nobody's taken anything, and if they do take their own paper file, it's in document management, it's retrievable. There's nothing that's going to be taken.
okay,
So everybody's in good shape, and we're one of the only towns that are paperless.
okay, and then Matt isn't here right now, but I know that he schedules roads to be resurfaced. Possibly he has a 3-year plan or a 4-year plan.
He has a 5-year plan.
Okay, a 5-year plan. I want to make sure that that 5-year plan is available to whomever takes over the highway department, whether they choose to use those plans or not. I think that it would be beneficial for them to at least look at the work that has been put in by Matt. Again, you said it's paperless, but I still want to make sure.
Yeah, but that's different, Beverly. You're talking about a plan that he has, and as opposed to official documents. Those are
Right.
two different universes. And if Mr. English, who is our highway superintendent, who is an elected official, chooses to give that information to the next person in charge, that's up to him.
No,
Yes, it is.
it's
Those-
up to me to make sure he does, because I'm paying his salary.
That's understandable, but you might want to have that conversation with Matthew.
I thought he was here tonight, but that's why I brought it up tonight, because I was hoping he was
Sure.
here.
Well, you can give him a call.
Beverly, there's 3 ways that they do these road repairs. There's 3 checks. So those 3 teams, 3 individual teams score the roads. So just because one person's leaving, the rest of the team members still have that list.
Okay, thank you.
Everyone is still gonna be there, Beverly. So they're all gonna be there, so they're gonna know what streets that are next in line.
I really don't know if the 2 candidates that are running, or the 3 candidates that are
Sure.
running, are on that list. I don't know how far up they are in association with Mr. English
I'm
to
sure.
know what they're doing. So I'm making sure that they do know.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and I can offer you the fact that Matthew lives in this town too, and I'm sure he's gonna wanna make sure that
For
it's
the
taken
time
care of.
being he lives here, he'd probably move out like a lot of other people.
Well, I think a lot of people have made decisions on people's moving, and that hasn't taken place. Like, I've been told that I apparently have built a home in Florida, which I'd love to know the address, but I have no interest going to God's waiting room. But I will tell you, Matthew has no plans on moving there permanently for his retirement. Maybe
Well,
he'll
that's
go
very
there a
nice of
couple
you
months,
to tell us that.
but
I
it's
feel
nobody's
that-
business what Matthew does when he retires. Nor is
Absolutely, is it any of our
anyone's
business
mine.
what you do?
Exactly.
I will say that I think that the candidate for town clerk, being that she is the assistant town clerk, probably has been in Jackie's pocket for a while, so I'm sure she's gonna be very, very good if she is elected to know what's going on. I'm not sure that the other 2 people in the highway department have been in Matthew's pocket.
Yeah, I think.
Saying someone's in someone's pocket is a little rough, but thank you, Beverly. Have a good night.
Maybe I'm not as educated as you think I should be, but I try.
That's not what I meant, Beverly. Saying someone in
Beverly.
someone's pocket means that they're on the take.
Well, maybe in your case, but not in my case.
Please.
That's what it's interpreted as.
I do want to point out that not only do the volunteer firemen receive a $200 a year credit directly from the state, they're also in the what's called the Length of Service Award Program at LoSAP. That's a taxpayer-funded retirement.
After
that
20 years of service.
They, and a lot of them get it, and actually I think it's less than that, but I don't have those things in front of me right now. But that is another taxpayer-funded benefit that they do get. And once, I forget the term, there's a term when they reach a certain level, like a lifetime, and then they can draw on that. And LoSAP is a very expensive and actually a fine program, so. Volunteer firemen are being more and more taken care of, and they do a wonderful job for us, and we all recognize that. And that's why we have LoSAP and why we have tax credits. But based on what I just read, there's no local tax credit available for a town board to give to a fireman. They are a separate government altogether from the town of West Seneca.
Maybe there isn't, but maybe there's something we could do to initiate it. After all, we took out taxpayers' money to make sure that the cats aren't declawed.
What? That never happened, but anyways.
That's something for the legislature to address.
That's what I'm saying, the legislature did it.
The-
Albany.
We didn't receive any money from the cats.
No.
Okay, anyone further? All right, so this weekend is Community Days. Thursday, we have our 5K run from West and East High School. I encourage anyone that's interested, if you haven't already, sign up and come out and enjoy the festivities. Our parade is 2 o'clock. Step off at West High School on Saturday afternoon. Other than that, I bid you all a good evening and a good night, and there is a full moon tonight, and have yourself a good evening. Good night, everyone.